Hello and welcome back to the Indie Game Social Club. I'm your host, as always, Brian. We finally made it. The biotransfer is complete. I have transferred my conscious to this handsome, more younger body located in Sweden. In the process, I lost some of my accent and some of my vocabulary, but hey, it's science. It doesn't always work in our favor.
Are you older? Is Ilker older than Brian? I
He's
feel like
not.
Brian's the older one. No?
Brian should be the older one. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. There we go. How are you, Brian?
I'm good.
Brian too.
uh, I've had a hell of a week so far. It's been super busy. I've got like three personal projects going on that I'm really excited to get underway. I spent all day working on all of them yesterday. I got a bunch of Kickstarter board games coming in. That's Burgle Brothers
Right.
2. It's basically like Ocean's 11 heist game, the board game.
Cool.
Um, I've been playing a bunch of indie games as of late,
Mm-hmm.
and so far so good. Life is on the rise for me. Things
Yeah.
are going well. How about
Please
you?
hear me. I'm good actually. Yeah. We talked about it just right before this podcast. The sun has finally come to Stockholm. The weird thing about living in Sweden is that sometimes you don't get spring. Sometimes the seasons just skip and go straight from winter to summer, and that is exactly what happened this year. Just it was winter, 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 and then just bam, it's summer, and all of a sudden
Oh
everything is
wow.
just green. Everyone is outside, hanging out in the parks and in the
What's
cafes.
the temperature?
It's around 20
Okay, so hang on. 20
Celsius. Yeah, you need
C
to look that
to
up.
F is 68 degrees. It's beautiful. That's how nice it is over here too.
Yeah,
It's going to be like 20 to 22 today.
yeah. I think it's like
Degrees.
it is like for me that is perfect because you can still have a jacket and not be too hot. But if you're sitting in sun, you can take off that jacket and you still won't be too cold. I think it's a happy
Yeah.
medium. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and also I think about like living in Stockholm is it's once because you have so many trees and parks and it's very lush as soon as everything just starts to bloom. It's actually really beautiful. It's really nice to be living here like during summertime at least.
Yeah, I do remember that when in my short stint in Stockholm, like the
Yeah.
trees were amazing. And even like the transition, like when we were going from like autumn to winter,
Right.
like there would be just the one tree that was a fire red, fire orange, and everything else is either dead or still green,
Yeah.
which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a very green town, green city. Yeah.
Hmm.
Really, really like it. So yeah, that's like all I do as soon as like I'm able to sit outside is go to cafes, drink coffee, and read some books. And
Nice.
we usually say that this is a book club without books, where we play indie games. But actually, you know what? Today I'm turning this into a book club because I'm gonna tell you I've been reading this book,
Ooh,
and I just finished it, and it's actually really really good. It's is it called anthology? It's a collection of short stories based on Warhammer 40,000, and this one is called Walls of Obsidian, and they are actually based around this labyrinth or this fortress called the Blackstone Fortress, which is this floating continent-sized pyramid in space, and
ooh.
it's like forever changing inside, and people who go in there just disappear. And adventurers that adventure there, they usually stumble upon things that shouldn't be there or just shouldn't just exist. It's really well written. There's like a lot of different authors, but authors
Mhm.
and yeah, a lot of them are really good horror authors. So they have
So
this.
this book you're reading is horror themed?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I
Nice.
wouldn't say it's horror themed, but it would be like a darker adventure theme. Like it's, you can still see like the tone is very eerie, and
Yeah.
dark and mystic, and like
Yeah.
a lot of them they even go so far to make the fortress itself, the labyrinth itself, is also like it's almost like a personality or like a character. Um,
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, it's a great book.
I think that made us talk about the other day, like the Bring It On movie franchise. I
Oh
didn't know there were
yeah,
six,
yeah.
but the seventh Bring It On movie is going to be a cheerleader slasher film, which
Right.
sounds so fun and so exciting. I think they've come to a point where they're like self-aware, kind of like Fast and Furious, where they're like, just bring on the absurd, you know?
Yeah,
It'll be
definitely.
really fun.
But yeah, like for me, summertime is a good time to be reading horror novels. And to actually make this more into a book club, this is the thing I'm going to be reading next. This is also
What is that?
anthology
Like the
of
cover.
yeah. This also like look at the pages, like it's so cool.
Oh,
Um,
sick! Nice.
so this is also a collection of short stories based around Warhammer, the universe,
Wow,
both fantasy and sci-fi 40k. And but these are actual horror novels. So
that's
like this is
awesome.
some spooky stories. So I'm really
That's
looking
the
forward
thing
to be
about
reading that.
Warhammer I'm super jealous about, which is like they have such a rich universe full of
Yeah.
lore. It's like, I think probably about as epic as Lord of the Rings, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
when you realize Lord of the Rings is one chapter in this biblical tome of stories that Tolkien created. It's
Yeah.
pretty insane.
Yeah, actually, like there's so much you can do with it, and what I like about these stories, they usually like pick characters that are like very small in this like endless narrative
Mhm.
or this endless universe. It's really nice to just like see how regular people and not all space marines and legendary characters act. You want to see like how people actually live in these or how they
I love that.
survive.
Yeah.
Lastly, this third book that I'm actually looking forward to read is Tommy, which is
Ooh,
a
Junji
Junji
Ito.
Ito graphical novel. This is a huge book.
Oh, is it all
it is the
illustrated?
entire
Wow.
Tommy series.
Very,
And
very
yeah,
cool.
so you,
Also, did you read that
sorry,
link I sent you last night?
I did.
I
That was
love that art.
super
Cool.
cool. Yeah,
It's
I think
there's a indie game called Next Door, and it's an 8-minute game,
yeah,
which is an adaptation of Junji Ito's best manga, apparently, according
yeah.
to the article. But
Uh,
check out Next Door.
That is a game that you and
Um,
I are going to be playing.
I
I have
agree.
decided.
We should. I love that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's like really like basic pixel art. So like if it can evoke those kind of disturbing imagery while still being pixel, I think that would be a really cool
Yeah,
accomplishment,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
But talking about games, let's talk about some games that we've been playing lately since last time we talked. Do you
Yeah.
want to start? And do you have any games you've been playing?
Sure. Yeah, I have been like 2 weeks ago, I went under the most insane food poisoning I've had,
Oh shit!
like maybe top
Yeah.
three worst food poisoning. And on top of that, it triggered vertigo, which like it feels like when you're walking, you're going down on a sinking ship and
Yeah.
the room's spinning and your eyes physically do this.
Uh
And
huh.
so I was like, oh my God. For like I didn't eat for 2 days. And so
Shit.
while I was like recovering, I was checking off a bunch of games on Xbox Game Pass that I've been wanting to play. And Pathway was one of them.
Pathway.
Pathway is an indie game by Chucklefish, or published by Chucklefish
Mm-hmm.
and developed by Robotality in 2019. It is a pixel art tactics game in the style of an Indiana Jones novel
Wow.
or
Okay.
story. So the setting is really cool. It is very much Indiana Jones, but instead of Indiana Jones, his name's like Dallas John or something like that. But yeah, it's clearly you can just kind of put yourself in that Indiana Jones world. And
Yeah.
story wise, it's cool and it makes sense. It's a little bit roguelite in terms of like, you start over with your whole team dies and another team takes your place effectively, which is
Right.
essentially the same people and carry your stats over. I had fun with it. I said at the end of my stream, I don't see myself playing it again, but it is a very faithful classic tactics game without any of the modern changes that have happened since
But
tactics
what?
game have
But
come
when you say
around.
tactics game, is it turn based?
Turn-based tactics game, yeah.
Yeah.
So like XCOM
Oh yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah, Gears Tactics or Advance Wars, that kind of
Yeah, I was
stuff.
just gonna say that, or Fire Emblem, and yeah. whatnot.
Yeah, but those, to be honest, those are. It feels like a very early entry of those games, and
Okay.
not a more modern entry.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it's still
it was
an
okay.
indie game.
Yeah.
But do you play a lot of tactics games?
I don't because I'm not very good at them. I played Final Fantasy Tactics because it looked so cool,
Hmm.
but I lost, and then I never played it again. I played Banner Saga. That
Hmm.
was a really awesome tactics game, and I heard the story is like as good as Game of Thrones if you can sit through it.
Yeah.
But I was just not good. Like you, the thing about tactics games is that a battle can last an hour.
Yeah.
And if you play for an hour and then lose, like it's not a great feeling for me. So
It's
like it's
not.
hard for me to stay engaged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been some time now that I played a tactics game. I think the last one I want to remember, I think it might have been Fire Emblem Three Houses on Switch. I also tried a demo of that new uh, Triangle Tactics that they releasing
Oh,
next year,
right.
I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With those awesome Octopath graphics.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say it's the same studio, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It might be. I think they're called Acquire. But
yeah.
yeah, other than that, like, what was the? There was an indie game that came out a couple of years ago with like mechas and giant
Ah,
insects. Yeah, what's that called?
I played it and I streamed it. I think
Yeah,
Star Renegades, is it Star
no, no,
Renegades?
no, no, it's not Star
No.
Renegades. It's called something else. Like whenever you lose, you go back in time or something like that, or
Breach, Into the Breach.
breach. There you go. Yeah, into the breach.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous game. I actually never played it, but I did gift it to Simon when he was feeling down.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's still at the bottom of his Steam list. He hasn't played it yet.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a tactics game that I would kind of wanna play. I think also there's this. What's that game called? It's anime as hell. It is the same. I think it's Vanillaware that made it. The same people that did Odin Sphere and Muramasa or the Demon's Blade or something like that.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
I can't remember the name of
I
the
love
game,
the
but
artwork in Muramasa. It was like one of the
yeah,
first, like they leaned into modern technology to do 2D sprite work and made it look super anime. I
I
thought
mean,
that
I
was really
think the
neat.
the thing about I think they're called Vanillaware. I think the thing about them, they do really really pretty games. Like they always like hand drawn style, and it just looks beautiful to look at.
Nice.
Um, I cannot remember the name of the game that I wanted to talk about, but but let's forget it. We'll get there some other time.
Nice. Well, that was Pathway for
Yeah.
me.
So, did you play anything else?
I did. I played for the first time with other people Deep
Mm-hmm.
Rock Galactic.
Oh, that.
And I had a blast.
Yeah.
Deep Rock Galactic is currently free on Xbox Game Pass. It is developed by Ghost Ship Games using the Unreal Engine 4. It's fun. It's got a lot of charm. It feels like a very simplified Sea of Thieves or simplified Destiny in
Right.
that, like, there's cosmetics you can upgrade. You can get buy new loot, upgrade your own gear.
Mm.
There are quests that you do, and it's like, hey, it's one quest is go here and mine a bunch of shit. Another quest is like, hey, we need to forge this pipeline and make sure that you don't die while you're creating this pipeline from this area to the minerals and stuff like
Right.
that. And it's super fun. You're just doing chores with friends.
Yeah.
But like that's what I love about Destiny, and that's what I love about Deep Rock. It's simple, just hanging out with friends, doing a simple task, and hordes of insects get to you. Like I can see that possibly getting old pretty quickly, but for now, the 2 playthroughs that me and my friend had were really fun.
This
I
game
recommend it.
looks really fun. I've actually watched a couple of videos with this. I think I watched Giant Bomb play this.
It's got a lot of charm.
Yeah, it
A lot of
looks
charm.
like this type of games are, as you said, like they are super fun to play with friends. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you like? Is there like building in it as well, or like do you? or is it just
No,
like
it's
shooting and
there's
defending?
just mining. From what I played, there's just mining. There's no crafting.
Yeah.
It is like up to 4 players, I believe,
Yep.
which sounds super fun to me. Like just go exploring through a cave with your
Right.
friends, collect stuff, and you can have like it's like Left 4 Dead in that everyone has a class. So
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
person's a digger, one person is like just all a tank, and the other
Mm.
person's like traversal, and then they all synergize. So like the person that is traversal is shitty weapons, but they can create zip lines for everyone else. You know, like a
Okay.
little bit also like Apex Legends, right?
Right.
So per mission, there's always a good loadout of characters to do, and you can upgrade your characters. They have skill trees and stuff like
How
that.
many characters are
I
there
thought it
in
was
the
kind of
game?
fun. I think currently there are about 5 classes. I want to
And
say
would you
5 or
say like
6.
all of them are useful, like, or like do you need a good spread of different classes when you're playing, or can
They
everyone?
all so far they all feel different enough. Like
Yeah.
there, I would say so. There is the tank class. There is the assault class, which is like a little bit faster, a bunch
Hmm.
of different kinds of weapons. There's a digger class, which like I enjoy, and whereas you do a pickaxe to work your way through a thing, the digger guy just like you press your button, it spools up and goes, and he just builds his way through a mountain, and it's super fast.
Yeah.
Saves a lot of time, but his weapons kind of suck.
Okay.
And then there's a support class, which like I think he heals and he can have like a drop pod come and like you can refill all your weapons.
Hmm.
Another really fun thing is you have a finite amount of ammo. So if you're digging and you're just spraying and you're just taking your sweet time,
Yeah.
you'll run out of ammo and you'll have to fight your way out with a pickaxe. And it adds to tension
Yeah.
and it makes for great moments because the moment me and my friend realized we don't get any more ammo than
Yeah.
this. Like it was really fun. It got really fun, and we were like running out into the escape pod and stuff like that.
I mean, the
I
thing is,
recommend it. It's fun.
yeah, I think that like what makes these games fun are usually when it like the chaotic nature of it, like when things get out of hand and you're like
Yes.
just trying to survive. I think that's what I really liked about Left 4 Dead and like the Vermintide games. Like
Yeah.
when shit is like going down the drain, that is when it's super fun. And like people,
Yeah. That for me, that's what does it. Which is like
yeah,
if a game is you have just as much fun dying as you do winning.
right,
That's a great multiplayer experience. You
yeah,
know,
and
when you come out
also
with stories.
you're playing dwarfs in space, which is I love that.
Yeah.
They look
Yeah,
super
and
cool.
there's like so much dialogue that they just quip at each other and they say it
Oh,
in passing. It's really charming.
oh
Like
my god,
it's
yeah.
probably like Disco Elysium level of like words or Hades level of words that they say. Not Hades,
Yeah,
but it's got 10 out of 10. Barbuer, thanks for the follow.
thank you.
It's got a 10 out of 10 on Steam and a 9 out of 10 on IGN for what it's worth. People
Hmm.
seem to really like it, and I want to play more.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the dialogues when they have that in games. Like I've been playing, as I told you, I've been playing a lot of Vermintide 2 with my brother and his friends, and as you said, it's super charming when the dialogues that they have, and when they just like I don't know, just banter while
Yeah.
while slaying creatures, monsters.
Ilker, real quick, one
Yeah,
second. Do you have Streamlabs open? Stream labels
it's
open?
open, and we can actually see
Okay.
that Barbuer is our latest follower.
Oh, there you go. It
Yeah.
updated. Sweet. There you go. I got to get that Twitch alert for you so that like when it plays the animation
Yeah, we need that.
when we get
Sorry,
a new
Barbie.
follower and stuff like
We'll next time you'll follow us. We'll have that.
Feel free to type in chat any game that you're recently playing. We're just going over the indie games that we've been playing, or just all the games that we've been playing, indie
Yeah,
or not, in the past 2 weeks.
yeah.
Would love to hear from you. But that's Deep Rock Galactic for me and
Mm-hmm.
all the games of note
Yeah.
that I've been playing.
What else have we been playing?
Oh, that's that
You've been
for me.
playing
That's it.
another game.
Last night I played more Resident Evil 5 and trying to work my way through that.
Uh huh.
If there's one complaint I have about all Resident Evil games is that there's like too much value. Like there's too much game for what you pay for. Like I just want to get through it and see the story, you know. But I thought I finished the game, but there's like a whole other chapter left.
Yeah.
But also I streamed our monthly game,
All right.
which is Cultist Simulator.
It is.
And for Barbier and anyone else just joining us for the first time, we are a book club with no books, and our monthly book is an indie game, which is currently Cultist Simulator.
Yeah, well described.
Mm.
What is Cultist Simulator? We want to talk briefly about that without any spoilers.
Sure, yeah. Cultist Simulator is a card-based simulation video game developed by Weather Factory.
Mm-hmm.
And the designer is credited as Alexis Kennedy. It was published by Humble Bundle. I didn't know that. It was released for Microsoft Windows, blah, 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 not really important, in 2019. The thing that was really interesting about this game is that on Steam, it says, hey, there's no tutorial. Part of the game is learning how to play the game.
Yeah, that is that was a weird introduction for me.
Yeah.
Was it hard? Do you think it was hard to get into the game or to understand it? Or are you still trying to figure out what to do after playing a few hours?
Normally, I like games where there's player discovery, but there was nothing. They didn't try to hold your hand. So I was like, you'll watch, I played for like 90 minutes maybe, or an hour.
Yeah.
It's on our archives on YouTube as well as Twitch. But like, I was just clicking and doing things and they weren't making sense. But I knew that like, if you click on something, the options open up to you. And I just didn't know why I was doing what. But after discussing in our Facebook group and watching a YouTube tutorial, essentially the trick is just read every card and you'll figure out what does what.
Yeah.
It's a sim game, I would say. Like, you know, you're trying to manage resources, and then as you manage resources, you unlock other things, which open up other things. And yeah, it feels Lovecraftian, which I love. But so far, I'm a very like if I were to have an emoji reaction for this, it'd be the new one where it's like, like I don't fucking know what I'm doing, but I kind of will the next time I play. I feel.
Yeah. Are you playing it on Nintendo Switch?
I'm playing on PC.
Yeah. Would you recommend playing it on PC? Because I'm a bit reluctant. Like I'm thinking about getting it on iPhone, but then again, my hands are a little bit too big, and I don't really like playing on stuff that are too small for my hands.
Playing it for an hour, I would highly recommend. First option is PC. Second option is iPad. And then anything else, I think it'll be so much slower. I can't imagine playing it with an analog stick. That would be awful.
Yeah.
Because there's a timer, but also you can like play and pause the timer, and part of the strategy of that game is managing the pause and play and speed up function. But yeah, that's about as far as I got in terms of understanding the game without a tutorial. I think the YouTube video I saw was, I believe, by Alexis Kennedy. And he was kind of like saying, you know, some people need their handheld, so this is the basic thing. I think it would have benefited from having that, at least the basic flow of the game. You know, it doesn't take away from the experience. I thought it was cool though.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your experience with it so far?
I still haven't dipped into it yet. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get it on PC. But I mean, yeah, I'm excited for this game. It's a weird one. It's nothing that we have. Like, it's not a game that we played before. It's not a genre we played before, and yeah, it's gonna be something new for the club to discuss, which I'm looking forward to. And yeah, for anyone watching, we're going to be discussing this game in depth next week on Sunday. I think it's next week. God, I hope I said that right. I think it's next week. Yep, next Sunday. So Sunday the 30th is when we will be discussing Cultist Simulator. Ryan, is there anything else you've been playing since last time?
I forgot to mention, but I spent like 3 hours, and my play sessions are usually short. I never really play for more than an hour or two, but I spent 3 hours finally getting into Subnautica. And I love it.
I have not a video. Yeah, you didn't send me a video of this game.
I didn't send it to you, but I just remembered.
Subnautica is a game that fantastic. I've been wanting to play that with someone, because I think that is an awesome experience to be streaming. I watched a little bit of Jesse Cox play that, and that intro to that game is it looks really, really good. Like it felt like it wasn't something I expected.
Yes.
But yeah, tell us about your experience so far.
Well, coming off the heels of the Fire in the Flood or the Flame in the Flood, which was
Uh-huh.
a roguelike game where you're traveling down a river in this post-apocalyptic world with a really unique art style. I love that game so much, and I paid like $4 for it on
Hmm.
Switch. It was really, really fun. Um, it scratches the same itch because no game that I've played that was roguelike or roguelite felt like the Flame in the Flood or the
Yeah.
Fire in the Flood. I should get that
Final
right.
thought. Yeah.
Um, but Subnautica felt like it. It's great. Like you are thrust into the situation where it's an emergency survival situation and you
Mm.
have to figure out what it is. And so you like in a real scenario, like, what do I do? This is broken. How do I fix it? Oh, go to this crafting machine. I need to get a repair kit. How do I get a repair kit? I have to find this resources. Where are the resource? In the ocean. And then that's how you start. Like you
Yeah.
start little by little,
Yeah.
And then I played at first. You can play full sim, which is like you get one life.
Mm.
You have to manage food and water. I was like, hell no. And then so I tried the semi sim, which is like you respawn if you die
Hmm.
and then you lose a few resources, which is like fine, right?
Right.
Um, but you still have to manage water and food. But I was like, I just want to kind of play through this because I heard the story is kind of cool and the
Yeah.
experiences are cool. So there's an option where you can be casual and do all the crafting and stuff, but you don't have to manage food or water. But with that said, there's still plenty that's going to kill you, like
Yeah.
hypoxia, like drowning or getting eaten by a monster or something like that. So
Monster sharks.
it's awesome.
Hmm.
It's really, really cool so far. And it's just, yeah, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's a cozy game, but it's like if you want to lose yourself the same way you can lose yourself for hours in like a Civ game, like
Yeah.
Civilization 6 or something like that, it's that's similar itch, you know?
Mm.
Or it's like 10 minutes can turn into like 3 hours. It's great.
If from what I've been
Highly
seeing, like
recommend.
about the story, like from what I've seen, the way they present the story is kind of neat. Like I think they like piecemeal it to you. You're like,
Hmm.
I think you at the start you pick up the signal that there are other survivors from this ship, and you're trying to find them. And well, that's all I know about the story. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, it's a game that I really want to play. I think I
It
might
was
actually.
free on
Yeah.
the Epic Store, and the sequel came out, so the first one might be on sale now
Oh,
on
okay. So
Steam.
there's actually a second one. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna gonna play that.
Check it out, dude.
Yeah,
It's great. If you like survival sims, it
I
is a
do not like. I
very
haven't played a lot of them, but like Subnautica, just it looks so cool. So I just
yeah.
wanna try
I
that.
mean, if you take the time to invest yourself in the game, which I usually don't have the patience for, it pays off and it's very
Yeah,
satisfying. I don't really like survival sims either, except for those two that broke through to me.
yeah,
Like Ark can kiss my ass. I hated Ark, where
dude.
it's like, yeah, you said your brother plays that a lot,
Yeah,
right?
my brother plays that and the Viking game.
Valheim.
Valheim. Yeah. Yeah, I like he likes those type of games, like those types of games, and
Yeah.
yeah, to each their own. To each is their own. Oh, what the saying
Yeah.
goes.
I mean, again, like Ark, Ark was unkind because you can spend days, if not hours, playing a game, and then while you go to sleep in real life, the game's still going. So you go
Yeah,
back onto your account. You were eaten by a dinosaur in your sleep, and you start again naked on the beach with
yeah.
nothing. So I was
That's
like, this
the
is
thing.
not fun,
Yeah,
you know?
and like because you can like play on servers where other people can just ruin your game, which is
Yeah.
I hate that. Like I don't play games to get abused by others. So.
Yeah. Some people love trolling, and it's not
Sure.
my
Yeah.
thing. I don't like mean-spirited games.
Me neither.
Yeah. But
Brian,
yeah, that's Subnautica for me.
there's another game here that you maybe wanted to talk about. Maybe something called Pathway.
That was the first game I talked about, Pathway.
Oh, it was. Sorry,
Yeah, the
it
Indiana
was.
Jones game. I
Yeah,
think you played it. Yeah.
I'm getting
Sure.
confused here.
No
um,
worries.
anything else?
That's it on my side. How about
Okay.
you? What have you been playing?
Well, I haven't played a lot of games. As I mentioned, I've been reading a lot, and also I don't know if you can see this. Probably not. but I have a Warhammer painting project on my table there as well. Just built this huge ass dreadnought, one of the new ones.
Nice.
I'm not gonna get it, but it's on there on the table. I've been airbrushing some, and yeah, it's been pretty fun. I'm like in a really good spot when it comes to my hobby painting, Warhammer hobby. I'm getting stuff done, and it feels fun, which it's not always, because sometimes it feels like a chore when you have to just complete stuff to just.
Yeah.
I don't want to play with unpainted miniatures. I actually really enjoy playing with my painted miniatures, and I know that people that I play against also enjoy seeing painted miniatures. So
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's satisfying to see something that you spent hours on in front just being used.
Exactly.
And also helps with immersion, right?
Yeah,
like
it
you
does.
Can't be immersed in this world if you're playing with this like gray glob, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But like for the new edition, they also introduced a new rule, which gives
Hey, you got a new one. Nikki the
Oh.
Law. What's up, Nikki the Law? I know you.
Nikki
Welcome to the club. Yeah,
Welcome.
she was also known as the Metal Maiden.
That's a cool name.
She is a friend of the club and fellow xenomorph lover. So
cool.
welcome.
Yep. But yeah, other than painting, I've actually been playing a game called Crusader Kings 3.
That's the incest game, right? Where like
if you want to.
it rewards you for incest or something like that.
I wouldn't say it does, but like you can definitely do some family breeding.
Is that what incestors call them? We don't do incest. We do family breeding.
Family breeding, yeah. So this is a game that my brother plays a lot with his friends. I got into this game when it released, and then I had a little relapse a week ago, and I started playing that. And man, this game, like, you sit down and you like maybe you think that maybe I'm gonna play for half an hour, and then you sit down and play, and you look at the watch, and it's been like 4 hours.
Nice. That is your Subnautica.
It is definitely like I was gonna play this like on the evening. It was Friday night, and I'm like, okay, it's 9 p.m. I can play this for an hour and then I'll watch a movie. Looking at the clock, it's 1 a.m. I'm like, fuck, how did this happen? And
yeah,
then I played a little bit more, and then it was 3 in the morning, and then it was 4 in the morning. And like, okay, I need to go to bed.
Wow. Wait, what kind of game is Crusader Kings?
I would call
like
this
a game.
I would call this a grand strategy game. I think that is the genre.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know how to describe this because I never played games similar to this. Like I don't know if like Civilization.
Like, I guess what's the core gameplay loop, I guess is my question.
I'm still figuring it out. So what you do is like I play sandbox mode. So what I do is I pick a century, which is I think it's the 800s after Christ, I think it's called. So I picked that, and then you have this entire world map, and you can pick a county or a kingdom that existed during this era. And in these counties, you also have all these people, these kings and counts. And you just pick one and start playing as them. And I really like playing count. Like I like starting really, really small, just having my little county and try to grow that, because I'm still learning the game. And if I would just like try to play the Byzantine Empire, I would just my mind would just explode.
Is that the root of county? A county is ruled by a count. Is that the origin of county?
It could be, yeah. I'm not sure, but yeah.
It might be. I mean, it makes sense when you said it like that. I was like, oh shit.
So I have heritage in the Mediterranean, and so I picked an island called Chios, which is near to where my mother grew up. So I'm actually playing the county of Chios, and what I did was I played it for like a few generations. What you do is that like you pick a character to play, and once that character dies, you play as the heir, basically, which is like your son. You can change the rules if you have enough influence to make that women can also be leaders or queens. I'm not there yet. And you can also, like, if you have enough religion points, you can create your own religion. But yeah, you need
It
to
is
level up
kind
a
of
lot.
like Civ building game, but way more specific and less broad. Like Civ games are pretty broad,
Yeah,
right? Well, this seems like you can get into the politics of it, right?
definitely. And so what I did was, like, I wanted to grow my little empire from one island to another, to a second island. So what I did was I declared war on the island of Lesbos.
Lesbos,
And yeah, that is Lesbos.
nice.
Yeah, that is where it comes from. The word.
Oh,
And to initiate war, you need to have a reason to go to war. So what I did was just I told my priest to come up with a reason for me to just own this island, and they just forged
yeah.
I don't know, a claim to the throne. So I went to war and took over Lesbos and made it mine. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be too hard to control two counties at the same time. So I gave it away to my brother, in-game brother, which is 1 year younger than me, and
Yeah.
made him a count of Lesbos as well. And what happened next is, like, he declared war on our leech, which is like the I don't know, the king of the Mediterranean. And like, you get, like, once they initiate like a claim to the throne, you get like a meter that will count down, and once that counter is down, you can send an ultimatum to your leech, like, you either
Oh,
step
interesting.
away from the throne, or like, we'll go to war.
Ah,
So we waged war against our leech, and yeah, we took over the whole Mediterranean, now me and my brother, which is super fun. Um,
nice.
but yeah, that is my like 6 hour session of Crusader Kings 3. Um, yeah, it's a fun game, like, but yeah, it's a slow burn. Like, I guess you can see on the stream now, like, it's not a lot of things are happening at the same time. You just, I don't
Right.
know, just clicking around, waiting your time, waiting for stuff to be finished, or yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I think that, yeah, sometimes it can be therapeutic. Like sometimes it's therapeutic to play a semi-stressful game, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, or just make decisions that have no consequences in real life, but like, it's great.
Yeah, I love that game. Like, I imprison people and I let them out. And they give me. I like. You can, like, what do you call it? You can create hooks if you let someone out, or you can just make them pay for their way out. But like, I like having hooks on people
Yeah.
because you can use those hooks to, I don't know, marry your son to someone more influential, or your
Right.
daughter to someone influential.
Yeah.
But that is Crusader Kings 3. The other game that I've been playing is Super Mario 3D World on the
Hey,
Switch. Yeah,
nice. I played that game pretty far in and I just stopped. The Bowser's Fury. It was very fun, but
yeah,
I go in spurts of these games. I forget they
hmm
exist sometimes because something
yeah,
else comes up. But I thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah. That's the thing with it. Like, I bought this game when it came out. I played this on Wii U back when that was the thing. It's a super fun game, and I got this on Switch when it came out, because yeah, I really like Mario games. But I haven't
Yeah.
played it until now, and it was just like, as you said, like, I just forgot that I had it, and yeah, that night I was like, hey, I wanna play something, something that has, like, I don't have to concentrate that much to play. It's just a fun, dumb game.
Have you been doing Bowser's Fury or just replaying Super Mario 3D
Just
World?
replaying a Super Mario 3D World right now. I
Oh
want to do the
wow.
Bowser's Fury
Okay.
as well. Actually asked a friend if he wanted to maybe play some this weekend, because yeah, this game is probably way more fun on multiplayer than just
It
playing.
is.
Yeah,
It's very fun. I played it online with two friends,
yeah,
and it's fun because it is cooperative, but you can send someone to get the hard part and then bring it back, and you can throw him, and it's cool.
yeah.
The only thing is Nintendo is such garbage when it comes to
I
internet that
know. Yeah.
like sometimes it was clean, sometimes there was like a full second delay between
Oh, okay.
inputs, and it
Yeah,
was just somewhat unplayable. And that was like 50% of the time, which
yeah.
is
Did
Awful.
you also play in the same region, or like was the lag because of like yeah
Yeah, West Coast,
yeah?
same region. Yeah, we're all in either California or Oregon or
Mm.
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try to play this with my buddy, but it's a fun, like it's a cozy game. I think you talked about this a while ago. Like Super Mario games are always, I don't know, super charming, and it's always nice when a
Comfort
new Mario
food.
game,
Yeah.
yeah, comfort food.
He's
That's
Mickey
the
Mouse
word.
for nerds, you know?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, I've been playing that some. But other than that, like that is the games that I've been playing. I think that's about it. So, what games are
Awesome.
you excited to play, Ryan? Oh shit.
Uh, let's see. Quite a
Mm-hmm.
few actually. And I didn't send you any of them, but
It's okay. I don't have
um,
anything queued up either.
currently
So.
on sale on Steam, and it got beat out on our monthly game discussion poll, which is a game called Before Your Eyes. It's getting incredible reviews. I don't know what it's about, but like they're saying the story is amazing. But it's a game that you play by blinking. And so I think if you read the summary, it's like every
Uh
time you
huh.
blink, you move forward in time. And sometimes that blink will move you 5 seconds, and
Right.
sometimes that blink will move you 50 years or something like that. So, like, if you're in a place, like, you have no idea where you'll be sent when you blink. And I think the idea of that is so captivating to me. I have not played it, but it's currently on sale on Steam for $7.99 US, and I just might pick it up like right now.
Cool.
And then also, I'm really excited on Xbox Game Pass or PC Game Pass. Snow Runner. Have you heard of that game?
No, what is that?
You ever play Trials HD or Trials? It's like a motocross game where you're like, it's kind of like a puzzle motorcycle game where you're trying to make
Yeah,
your way
I
over obstacles.
that is a game that I think was like installed on every computer in like in the computer lab at school.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Back on like what was that, Windows 98 or something like that,
Yeah.
95, 98. Yeah,
It started as a Flash game, I think,
yeah,
to be honest. So it is like a very, very slow version of that because you're a truck
yeah.
and you're like this long haul trucker that is trying to get through really muddy, snowy terrain.
Right.
And I think that's like really, it looks really satisfying. So I'm really excited to play that. And it's free on Game Pass right now. So
Cool.
I'll give that a try. But those are the two ones that were on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I'm excited to be playing some more Super Mario, hopefully this weekend. Also, Cultist Simulator. Gonna try to get that at a few hours into that this weekend as well. But
Crack it
like,
open.
yeah. But other than that, like, I wanted to get into to Near Replicant. Still haven't because I'm really anxious about playing that game because
Emotionally taxing,
like
right?
I kind of know what to expect from that game, so then like I don't know if I'm ready. Like I'm in a really good mood now, and I want to don't want to bring that bring that down. But
Right.
yeah,
Is that a Britney Spears shirt you're wearing?
it's not. This is Zombie Chang. This is a
I am
Japanese.
not.
I am
Okay. What
not
did it say?
Zombie Chang.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that says on the backside of the yeah,
What? Okay,
shirt.
I am not as cool as you. What is Zombie Chang?
She's a I don't know how to describe her musically. Really, like she's a Japanese artist or producer that makes electronic and pop music,
Hmm.
which I discovered like 2 weeks before going to Japan last time, and which was last year in January, right before the
Wow.
pandemic.
Oh, wow. That's
um,
wild.
yeah, that's wild. So I discovered her and like looked her up and like, oh, she's giving out a free concert at Ginza in Tokyo. So I went
Awesome.
and saw her concert, and it was actually really really fun. They had it was at like something called Sony Park Entertainment, maybe something like that.
Uh-huh.
It was in the basement, and the basement had this microbrewery as well. So had some cool beer, and yeah, watched and listened to good music. And afterward, like since it was free, she was like, she had this little stall where she was just selling her merchandise, and I thought like,
That's
hey,
so cool.
yeah, fuck, like I'll buy her buy a cool t-shirt or sweater.
Yeah, support
Because
the artists
yeah,
if they're
exactly.
putting in that kind of energy, right?
Definitely. Yeah, so I asked her like for the biggest size. She didn't have
Yeah.
any English, by the way. Like she was not speaking English. And I tried
But you
to
speak a little bit of Japanese, don't you?
very
At
little.
least the basic words. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like probably not to form a sentence, but like basic words, right?
Yeah, and I asked her for
At
like
least.
the largest size, and she's like, maybe X large. Yeah, do you have anything bigger than that? Because the Japanese sizes are not the regular
Oh,
Western
right. Yeah,
size.
they're a lot more petite for
But
sure.
yeah, but it's I think this fits
Looks
good.
like it fits.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been washed a few times as well. So
Nice.
yeah,
I think they look better washed and worn. You know
they
what I mean?
do.
Screen tees. They got like
Yeah,
this one. It's got to have a little bit of love to it. This is a
yeah.
shirt Simon made me.
Oh, is
Melon
it
fit.
melon fit? Yeah,
Yeah.
looks good. I want to
Yeah.
actually want to
Melon
find
fit
more
boys.
like long sleeves. I'm in a really good like I don't know. I'm in a long sleeve mood or period when I want to wear long sleeves.
They look good in the summer when you roll them up.
They
Look all
do, yeah,
casual and
they do.
stylish.
When you're riding on
Yeah.
and around on your bike, your shorts and your long sleeves.
My short shorts, long sleeves, my scarf.
Yeah. But Brian,
Uh,
you're actually going on spring break. You wanna tell us what you're
oh
gonna be
yes.
doing?
Before the pandemic, I used to host a brunch with my friends where we do brunch and board games. And then the pandemic killed it
Yeah.
because we all had people that were very high risk in our inner circles. So it was just kind of irresponsible for us to do it. So now that all of us in our game group are vaccinated, we're taking a trip to Palm Springs,
That's
baby.
great.
And we're going to be eating our asses off, soaking it up in the pool, walking through the desert, and playing a bunch of board games. We're actually going to do a board game tournament, and I'm going to 3D print a trophy for us. It's going to be
Oh,
fun.
that's cool. So you're
Yeah.
gonna do like best of 5 board games, or like what's the
Best of
tournament?
three.
Best of
So
3, yeah.
it's going to be a game that all of us have not played, except for me. Obviously, I have to learn the rules and
Yeah.
teach it. But we're going to play each game twice. So once is the introductory game where you can get all your questions out.
Right.
And so you have no excuse to be like, oh, but you didn't tell me this. How convenient. I hate that.
Yeah.
And then second game is everyone for themselves. And then, so first, the winner gets 3 points. Second place gets 2 points.
Mhm.
Third place gets 1 point. And then fourth gets nothing. So it should be fun.
That sounds really fun. Like,
Very, very
have you like what games have you planned? Do you know like, can you talk about the games, or is it like?
Yeah, no. There's a game series.
Mhm.
Give me a second. It's
Sure.
worth it. I promise.
It's getting the board games, the stack.
It was a very dry game series called Century Spice
Uh-huh.
Road, and it was about playing cards to buy spices,
Okay.
and then you trade spices for better spices.
Yeah.
Very satisfying. But then someone came in. It's just not my cup of tea. But someone came in and rethemed it to Golem Edition, and I believe they might have been. I could have just made this up, but they might have been like a former artist for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
But the artwork is spectacular.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so this is actually not Century Spice Road, but this is okay. Let me preface this again. There are 3 games in the series.
Right.
Century Golem, fantastic, very simple, like doesn't have the boring theme,
Mhm.
easy to get in.
Yeah.
The sequel is Century Eastern Mountains. It was a different type of game. It was what's called pick up and deliver. So imagine like
Sure.
DHL, the game. You pick up a package, you bring it here, you get points. You take those points, you bring it to another place and get points there and stuff like that. It's pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but it's still fun. This one is called An Endless World, which is the type of game it is a worker placement, which is, do you know what musical chairs is?
Maybe.
There's like 4 chairs and 5 people.
Right.
You play the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that. There's like a finite amount of spaces, and you put your person there, and you get the resources. If that's taken, then you got to go somewhere else, right?
Okay.
Here's the exciting part. There's 3 games
Yep.
in a series. you can take each game and combine them to make a bigger game.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can have a game that's worker placement with delivery scenario. You
Hmm.
can combine game 1 and 2. You can combine 1 and 3, 2 and 3, or
Okay.
all three together to make a big meaty game. And apparently they all work really well together.
That sounds
Um,
fun. Yeah.
so my game group has played the first two, and I got this game in this week. And so I think this is going to be one of the games that are in the tournament that I'm
Cool.
really excited for.
Yeah.
And the other one
Hmm.
is a game that has been sold out for a very long time called Parks. And it
Oh,
is,
yeah. This has a
yeah.
gorgeous cover, I
Oh, it's
think. I
great.
really like
It's
that.
it's based on the national parks in America.
Yeah.
And the artwork, it looks like those Welcome to Yosemite posters, like those
Yeah.
classic national park stuff. And so that's going to be the other one. And I have yet to decide on a third. It might be a more simple one, just so it's like anyone's game.
Hmm. I mean, so far you have a what would you call park like that what would you call the genre of that game?
Ooh, Parks, I would say it's a style of worker placement game.
Okay. And
Uh,
Century, you would say is more like a trading game or like a I don't know. Is
this
it?
this particular flavor
Hmm.
of Century is a pure worker placement game.
Okay.
And then Parks is kind of like worker placement, but you know how I said like if someone goes there, you cannot.
Right.
In Parks, if someone goes, two people can share the same space
Yeah.
in Parks, which is nice. And another type, it's called set collection, where it's like the reason why you're going to these spaces is you're trying to collect photos of
Hmm.
this. So it's like, oh, I'm trying to get a panoramic photo, so I'm going to go to this space to take this picture. Then I'm going to go to the next space to take that picture, and so
Right.
on. It's a very like calming, beautiful game.
Yeah. Then I would suggest like maybe something more hectic.
Mhm.
Maybe as a final game because like if people are tired, maybe you um I don't know. Maybe a tiebreaker would probably
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
fun
maybe
to
something a
prepare.
little bit more random. So like
Yeah,
the people that aren't as strategic or their brain doesn't work that way can have a chance
exactly.
to catch up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's a good idea. So maybe
Um,
like a dice game or something like that would
maybe,
be fun.
yeah. If there are any
Mhm.
fun dice games. Oh, my plant
Is that
wanna.
a plant trying to take over your
It
computer?
is, yeah. I'm getting photobombed by my plant here.
Nice.
um, cool. That sounds really
So
fun.
yeah.
Like for me, like for someone living in Sweden and never been to Palm Springs, only heard about it through American media, through movies.
It's awesome. It's beautiful, man.
Like I
I think
always
you would really
imagine, like
like it.
I imagine it like being this lush in the forest with like I don't know, with cabins everywhere. But that is probably not what it is.
It feels like you're in on another planet. Like
Okay.
between Palm Springs is kind of like the peak 50s, 60s, little bit of 70s. Like so
Hmm.
all that architecture is very well preserved. It's
Oh,
beautiful. Um, and it's next to Joshua Tree National Park. And
okay.
if you've ever watched the Flintstone
I've
cartoons,
done,
it
yeah.
looks exactly like bedrock. Like between the rock formations and the trees, you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, whoever created the Flintstones did a bunch of mushrooms and like went to Joshua Tree because it looks exactly the same. It just looks like that there's nothing else that I've been to in the
Right.
world that looks like it. It's really beautiful and really cool, I would say.
You're gonna have to send me some pictures.
Absolutely.
Take some
Yeah.
pictures and send me. That'll be
100%.
fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you up to this weekend?
Not much. Like, I'm hoping that we'll have nice weather because since I'm working from home, like, yeah, this is the space that I spend the most time around throughout the week. So as soon as Friday hits, I usually just leave the apartment and never come back until like Sunday.
Nice.
Like, I just
Yeah.
want to like I don't know, bike around and have a coffee and yeah, read some of my horror novels. Um, We'll see. It looks like it's going to be raining this weekend, but then again, I mean, it's a few days left, so it could be changing. But yeah, that's
Sounds great.
yeah. Still waiting for my vaccine. Like I can't like hang out with any people right now. I can meet people
Right.
outside, but still no.
So,
Yeah.
the vaccine rollout has been pretty slow in Sweden, right?
It has, yeah.
Yeah. Is there a particular reason, or is it just because the supply isn't there?
I think they have the supply there now. I'm actually not sure why it's been that slow. I mean, it's been speeding up these past few weeks, definitely. They started rolling out the phase four, which is for everyone, but they are still phasing it like 5 years at a time. And now it's everyone born in 1971 and
Oh, so it's age
sooner.
groups, and they're just making it wider, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And yeah, hopefully within 2 weeks, maybe I'll get my first shot. But we'll see.
Excited.
I'm excited to
It's just
start hugging people
peace of
again,
mind. Yeah,
and like
yeah,
my definitely my family, my like I visited my mom and dad, but like we don't do hugs, even though I stay there for like
yeah,
for a few days. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna be hugging some people for sure.
yeah. I mean, look, people will always roll their eyes at people being more cautious or less cautious, but like as long as you're doing your part, like I will never put someone down for being like extra cautious, because at the end of the day, people are still dying, you know, and
Yeah,
and we're lucky that we have access to this vaccine and stuff like that. And at least the for now the worst part is behind us, or beginning to be
hopefully,
behind
yeah.
us. And yeah, it's weird that you can hug your friends guilt free, you know,
Exactly, yeah.
like not have
But
to quarantine for a long time to hug your
yeah,
friends.
I've been a lot more careful than other people that I know as well. Like, knock on wood, I haven't like been sick for over a year. Like not
Right.
the slightest. So
I think that
um,
was the best part that came out of it, because I'm gross. I used to get sick all the time, like catch a cold all the time or
yeah,
whatever. But I haven't gotten sick in a year besides the food poisoning, and
right,
I don't want to go back. You know, I want to keep
yeah.
sterile.
I'm
Good
I'm
feeling.
usually hygienic. Like I always wash my hands and I never like touch things that I know that other people have been touching. Like I went to
Yeah,
down to the basement to pick up my bike or like bike storage, and I saw that someone had moved
yeah,
it, and I really hate when I see that my bike is not where I left it, because that means
yeah.
someone has touched it.
Oh
Like
shit.
I don't
Yeah,
like when people touch my stuff.
yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, that's exactly my reaction.
Nice,
But
nice,
yeah,
nice, nice.
that's hopefully my weekend. We'll see.
Great.
I think that's going to do it. Like that's a solid hour of podcasting, and we'll be back next week. Maybe you and I will be streaming a game that we haven't decided yet, but we'll see. Yeah.
Would love to.
Exactly. But we'll see. If not, we still have the monthly game discussion coming up next Sunday. That is Sunday the 30th, where we'll be discussing Cultist Simulator. And it's going to be a few more people than just you and I think. I'm hopeful. We'll see.
Great.
Yeah. Well, until then, goodbye, everyone. Say hey
Goodbye.
do. Say hey do. Say hey
Hello.
do. Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Bye.